G'day everyone, this is Jermyn, aka the Terrible Australian, and welcome back to the audio commentary editions of Super Podcast. Unfortunately, my regular co-host Super Marcey won't be able to be on this one due to health reasons, but we do wish Marcey the best, and hopefully once she's feeling better, she'll be back on the show very soon. However, though, I am joined by a very special guest who will be filling in as my co-host for this episode, and I think at this point, this man in particular is basically like the honorary third member of Super Podcast, because he is, in my eyes, a legend of the podcast. He's been with the show since the very beginning, and he is back here for some more shenanigans with us, and that, of course, is everyone's favourite piece of Canadian bacon, and that, of course, is Mr. Nick Bosworth. Hello, Nick.
G'day. How are ya?
You call that a knife? This is a knife.
I feel like I've become Australian over time.
I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised, like, the amount of time you spend with Marcy and I over the years, Nick. I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't be surprised that you're starting to slowly turn into an Aussie by now.
Hey, I can think of worse things. That's for damn sure.
Exactly, and I think I might be starting. Sorry, I was going to say and I think I'm slowly turning Canadian as well. So there you go.
Well, that works. That works. There's nothing better. But Christ, I just wish I could get the hell out of Canada at some point. But
oh yeah, that's right. You guys are still in lockdown, aren't you?
Oh my God. Yeah, we are. I mean, we're not nearly as bad as the States right now, but we still got to be careful.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. Well, how long in particular you guys been in lockdown for? Like at least.
Well, we're actually only certain parts of like Ontario and other provinces are in lockdown right now. Mm-hmm. But we're not in full where I am right now. We've managed to hold off a little bit, but like, you know, toward Toronto and major cities and Alberta and places like that, it's been pretty bad. They've been locked down for a bit.
Yeah. Well, hopefully your lockdown will be will come to an end soon. I know here in Melbourne we've only just come out of lockdown, like I'd say maybe 6 weeks ago, because we were here in my city of Melbourne. We were in lockdown for like 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Like, and not just the whole city, but the whole state as well. So yeah, it was a very, very long process, but it ended up doing well because in the past 6 weeks we have not had a single COVID case in all of Victoria, and especially here in Melbourne. So which is ended up really working well. So hopefully, hopefully it will be the same for you guys. Not at least that length, but at least it does well enough that at least numbers go down, and then eventually you guys can come out of it.
Yeah, we were doing well back when we first locked down in March, but unfortunately when the fall arrived and everybody had to get back to normal lives, it spiraled out of control again. Yep,
and I blame that on all the idiots. Just saying.
Well,
but
hopefully with the vaccine coming out, we'll won't have to deal with this shit much longer.
Yeah, exactly. But in the meantime, though, it gives us enough time to do awesome things like podcasting. And for this audio commentary, this isn't the usual monthly audio commentaries that we usually do. Marcy and I still haven't even done our November one yet, but hopefully we'll eventually do that very soon. But in the meantime, though, this one in particular is a very special off-the-cuff one, because this one in particular is we're doing it in honor of a Hollywood legend who recently passed away last month. And he's an actor who I believe is someone you and I and Marcy as well, we completely grow up with ever since we were kids. And that, of course, is the late, great Sir Sean Connery. And we decided, like off the cuff, Marcy and I, that we thought, why don't we do a audio commentary edition of the show, kind of similar to the our monthly ones, where we put a poll out there on our official Facebook group, and we let our listeners and fans decide which film of Sean Connery's we would do an audio commentary for him in honor of his passing. So we put a group of mixture of different films, some good, some not so good. Like we had like Entrapment, Zardos, Goldfinger, The Rock, and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and there was another one in there as well, but I can't remember what it was. And surprisingly enough, the film that ended up winning the poll was one that he actually wasn't the lead of, and that, of course, is the classic Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, well, I would say... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it's just in all seriousness, it might have actually been the first Sean Connery film I ever saw.
Yeah, and
as a kid.
Yeah, actually, now that I sort of, when you say that, I was sort of thinking about this earlier today. Like, what was the very earliest Sean Connery film I would have seen? Like, I know for a fact I didn't see the James Bond films until later. And then I sort of realized, like, it would have been... Actually, it was either this film and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, since he had a cameo in that.
Yeah, it probably would have been. I mean, yeah, because I was raised on the Roger Moore era. So, Connery came later because of my parents' age and whatnot. But, yeah, I mean, Christ. It doesn't get any more classic than this father-son dynamic.
Exactly.
Him and Harrison.
Oh, indeed.
But, oh, yeah, it's one of my all-time favorites as a kid. I mean, I was only 2 when the movie came out, but I probably saw it, probably was 4 or 5, from start to finish for the first time. So, yeah. Classic all the way. Yeah,
well, I'm a bit older than you, of course, and I know this was definitely one I used to watch all the time as a kid. So I'm very excited to do a commentary for this one. Although a part of me wishes that the Rock one, so you and I can equally do both our famous Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage impressions throughout, but I digress. So we'll only have to settle for yours.
If Marcy were here, I'd be driving her nuts with it. So.
Exactly. But I think even when she does listen to this commentary, it's going to just drive her insane, that dead-on impression of yours. Because she literally cannot handle that impression. It just sends so much quiver through her.
Well, it's either that or Dobby.
Exactly.
Whichever works.
Exactly. But we'll get right to the commentary. So for our listeners out there who have never listened to any of our commentaries before, and if you haven't, how dare you? But if you haven't listened to our previous ones, what you need to do is that if you have a copy of the film, we're going to be starting the film from the very beginning. So both mine and Nick's copies start with the Paramount logo, which is... So if you want to start there, that's where we will be. But I think most of the copies are pretty much start from there. So 00000, in case if you need the numbers for that. So we're going to be starting from the very beginning. And when I sort of count down from 5 and say go, that's when you all play the movie. And we can, and our commentaries and our copies of the film will be in sync with each other. But I'm pretty sure this commentary will still be a lot of fun and informative, even if you don't have a copy of the film. But, so we hope you'll enjoy it. So we'll get right to it. So I've got my copy ready to go. And what about you, Nick?
Well, I don't know, Bede. I thought that in Australia things went backwards.
Oh, well...
You start at the end and then you go back.
Yeah, well, to be fair, my copy starts with them riding off to the sunset and then it just goes backwards from there.
Hey, well, it ends with, this technically begins with River Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. It basically, the Aussie version is a Benjamin Button version of Indiana Jones. He starts off being Harrison Ford and then he slowly morphs into River Phoenix.
Awesome.
All right, so we'll get right to the commentary. So I'll count us down from 5, and then when I say go, we play the movie. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Play.
The Paramount Pictures logo. It's going to be weird when the new one that Disney's working on is going to come out, because that means they'll have the Disney logo rather than the Paramount Pictures logo.
Well, I truly doubt that film's ever going to get made, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I mean, James Mangold is very dead set on making that movie.
I honestly don't think Harrison's going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have it anymore.
Yeah. I think the only way they can make that movie work is that if they do like a... like have Harrison still be in it, but as an older Indy looking back on his life as a younger man, so maybe a younger actor playing Indiana Jones, kind of like the beginning of this movie as we're watching.
Pretty much. Well, Raiders of the Lost Ark still remains my all-time favorite movie, so this is definitely special. I mean, but I understand why this one is also many people's favorite.
Yeah, I would say it's probably my personal. Yeah, I would say it's probably my personal favorite of the trilogy.
Yeah, my girlfriend, it's her favorite as well.
Yeah, but I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark is an absolute classic. But I think there is something about Last Crusade that does make it special to the point where, you know, for a lot of people, it's considered the best of the series.
Oh yeah, God, this is a beautiful opening.
Oh yeah, this entire opening section is definitely Spielberg channeling David Lean to like it's just beautiful.
Dougie, one of the greatest directors of photography in the business, and this was his last film.
Was it really?
Yeah, he so he had worked with Spielberg and countless throughout his career, but yeah, after this film he started going blind in his right eye, and he never worked again.
Oh wow.
Yeah, passed away in 2016, I believe it was. But yeah, this was his last film. He just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, well, even if he was like, you know, going blind in his right eye, was that correct?
Yeah,
he still managed to pull off like some beautiful shots in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure how much it affected him in this film, but yeah, it was shortly afterward in '89. Yeah, because this is just stunning.
Mm. And what's interesting though about this whole section with River Phoenix, the late great River Phoenix as young Indy, is that it would also inspire the TV show The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles as well.
Which, if anyone out there is listening, please, for the love of God, remaster it and release it. I don't give a shit if it's on Disney Plus or whatever.
Yeah, I'm actually
I want that show back.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised like it hasn't popped up on Disney Plus already, or maybe that's what they're doing is remastering it and hopefully throw it on there.
Yeah, maybe. It's very possible. They pop up with this stuff every now and again. I don't know how the rights work with that, and I'm assuming they own it outright with Lucasfilm, but should be interesting to see if it does pop up one day.
Yeah, and also I just want Caravan of Courage, the Ewok movie, to pop on Disney Plus. I'm just saying, put it up there.
Exactly. Look at River, so young.
It's kind of amazing because this at the time, like River Phoenix was already starting to become a huge star, and the fact that he kind of appears in this film, even though he is playing young Indy, it's still quite a small role for him. Like he's a high-profile actor at this time of the movie was made.
Yeah, it's a big opening for him and a big. God, I mean, anybody would have been honored at the time. I know he had worked with Harrison in a prior film. I can't remember. It was.
I think it was the Mosquito Coast.
Mosquito Coast, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So they knew each other. He knew how to, mimic him and whatnot. But yeah, this was. I can't remember actually how old River was at this point.
Oh, he would have to have been in his. Because I know he passed away in his early 20s. So he would have been like maybe in his late teens or maybe 18 or so.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Yeah, he looks about that. I mean, shit, who knows? Allison Duty is freaking 21 in this movie.
Wow.
She looks like she's at least in her 30s.
Actually, that look back there that River Phoenix did, that little smirk he does as he's about to climb up, that's a very Harrison Ford smirk right there.
I love this whole goddamn chase is just brilliant.
Oh, yeah. But I do agree with you that this whole, like, his River Phoenix's performance, like, he does a great job at channeling Harrison Ford. Like, having all the mannerisms, the vocal techniques and everything.
Yeah, without a doubt. His little looks, his little glares, his little, oh yeah. I fucking love him trying to mount the horse.
And there's, like, a lot of great comedy in this section as well.
And it's pretty, I argue that this might actually be, of the three film scores,
yeah,
this might be Williams' best.
I could definitely see that, yeah. I mean, the Raiders one is very iconic, but in terms of...
Yes.
But what we're listening to right now in terms of scores, it's very sort of have this almost very playful kind of quality to it.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Oh, the train. This train would be like the ultimate, like, fucking escape room kind of thing. This thing is so fucked up.
If I had like billions of dollars, I'd make like an escape room that's just a homage to this entire train sequence.
Franchise and everything. Or just to this. I like the giraffes.
I was gonna say, like, I was like sitting there, it's like, are those real giraffes or are they like just like fake ones they put on top of the train? And I'm like, oh well, they're meant to be real, but they look so totally fake.
Oh fuck yeah. This sequence scared the piss out of me when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, you got
with all the alligators
and the
snakes.
snake. What kind of circus has that many snakes?
Yeah, I don't even understand that.
I would.
What did they do with them?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I question, and
I didn't even get that was a big ass like anaconda or something. His legs.
And I guess what I love about that sequence is pretty much it shows like why Indy is terrified of snakes.
Yes. Yeah, there's little clever bits where the phobias come from.
Oh yeah, but I think that's what's great about. But that's a great thing I like about this sequence. Like, even though this whole opening is probably like, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes long, it kind of, in a lot of ways, kind of feels like the template for how we see movie prequels now. Like, it's setting up how things sort of begin and all that. But this movie manages to do that within 10, 15 minutes of this opening sequence.